everyone to FRL Round 4, Mount Panorama, Bathurst. We have returned for another week of the Super Sprint Sunday. You may think that I may sound a bit different, I may not sound like the Lord Waffle himself, but I am your host tonight, Retro Ghost. Unfortunately, Lord Waffle cannot make it tonight due to an ill wife, so he's taking his husband duties and being a good husband and taking care of her. So unfortunately, you're stuck with me for 2 hours. So round 4, Bathurst in the Super Sprint Sunday. So we have an absolute sensational track, sprint series, 20-minute race, 40-minute race to soon follow after that. So obviously don't go anywhere, guys. In between the middle, get some snacks, get some drinks, tell a friend, tell a family member, send it to someone you hate, tell someone you love, get them in the stream, get them signed up to FRL. It's the absolute place to be. Racing, all sim racing covered. If it's got wheels, it goes fast on a straight line. Not that I go very fast on a straight line, but FRL is the absolute place to be. And so just whilst we are catching the back end of this free practice, we are just going to run through some interesting standings. If anyone did tune in last week, we had a really good race battle between Bonham and Moller. Let's say Moller taking a commanding lead in one race, then so unfortunately losing it in the second race. So unfortunately, he's not going to want to repeat what he did last week in Sprint Sunday. So hopefully he can make Bathurst, as I call it, as say some of these twisty technical corners, as we are just watching Richings go round the skyline top part of sector 2. Now very interesting part, so very tricky coming into this braking zone, not to shift the weight of the car too much, test the walls out there, as Gedman's probably done his very special wall safety inspections, as he is just a little bit over the curb, and there we go, there we have it. That's why it's called Bathurst, everyone. Sorry, Bathurst, as it hurts when you crash into the wall. So just whilst we wait for the championship standings page to load on my phone, and we will go over it. So as it stands, after round 3, Moller is still winning the Pro Championship with 57 points, but Bonham is also tied with 57 points. There's a joint leadership in the Super Sprint Sunday now. So it's very interesting what Bathurst is going to perform for both drivers in race 1 and race 2, as we do have Bonham, who is currently P1 in the free practice now. I don't see Moller in the list. Is he going to be a late arrival, or is he not going to turn up? This may be music to Bonham's ears. But we do have Morgan Grace down in P3 with 45 points. Adam Sharp, P4 with 43 points. As he did say in the Discord before this race, he's got money on binning it tonight. He doesn't like this track, but he's got it all to play for, hanging on to that P4 in the championship. Luke Prentice now, P5. 39 points. Josh Clayton, 35 points. Gareth Harvey, 34 points. P8. Andrew Eaton with 28 points. Jack Prentice, 27 points. Gordon Brown, P10 with 24 points. And Filomeno down in P11. So all the drivers on track, and obviously all you guys at home, all the guys in the pro tier are the guys. Oh, we just caught that Ferrari once again. He's not liking Gedman's safety standards or the barriers. He's got to have words and put a complaint in there. But the drivers with the white boxes on the left-hand side are the pro drivers. And then the drivers with the slightly greyed out box are the silver tier. So we're just going to go over the silver standings now, when the page starts to load. Not sponsored by iPhone, but it is terrible. So we've got Naisbitt winning the silver tier at the minute with 50 points. P2, Thomas Fitterer with 47 points. Another tied P2 there. So you've got Thomas Fitterer and Lee Colpitts both tied on 47 points. You've got Samuel Grafe, the man in that Nissan GTR with some tremendous straight line speed. say down in P4 with 46 points, who's only 1 point behind the joint P2/P3 there. Carlos de Jackal in P5, 44 points. Mulnix in P6 there. And it won't show me the points. So, unfortunately, it won't show me the points. Oh, no, it's going to load the points. iPhone is having a meltdown. What is going on? It's all upside down from the land under. So Mulnix is on 39 points. Luke Richings is on 39 points as well. A triple tie there, folks, in the silver tier. 39 points. Michael Mulnix, Luke Richings and Antonis Korkamalakis in P8 there. So P6, P7 and P8 all tied on 39 points. You've got Mr. Chris Gedman, the man himself, the legend, in P9 with 36 points. Mornweg in P10. Van der Waal in P11, 26 points. Kalugin in P12 with 21 points. Javier Sierra in P13 with 0 points, maybe that's a card change. And Wouter Heymans down in P14. And no, it's not chase cam, it's just whilst I'm going over the standings, whilst we've got free practice, and we will change camera when all the juicy Sprint Sunday action does start. But guys, that is the silver tier standings. As I did mention, that is the guys running around with the slightly grey box on the left hand side. Hello Nico, how are you? Now going to go on to the AM tier. Again, whilst my iPhone takes about 20 years to load, as it is a prehistoric model, and you know what Apple are like. So we've got, I'm probably going to really butcher this, I'm really sorry Serpentine. Reinhardt Serpentine, 56 points, leading the AM tier there. Sofino Jabino in P2, 51 points. Dazza Townden in P3, 49 points. Jamie Thacker, 44 points in P4. Michael Coppins in P5, 42 points. Jude SC, P6, 27 points. Lee Cablo, P7, 23 points. Paul Trotman down in P8, 19 points. Francisco Rodriguez, P9, 15 points. Simon Williams, P10 with 10 points. Brooklyn Llewellyn, P11, 9 points. Marnix Hoke, we butcher that every week, I'm really sorry buddy. P12, 0 points. Johnny Sharp, P13, 0 points. And Noah Morris, minus 10 points down in P14. So the lights have gone out, folks, for this qualifying session. Sprint Sunday. There is no tier qualifying. It is an absolute cluster on Bathurst for qualifying. 29 drivers all fighting for a space on the tarmac. Just whilst we are going to change the camera to get some of better action. So some of the corners are in the dark, but hopefully some of the camera angles will help some of the visibility. Whilst the camera is not going to do me any favours. See, 6 people are watching already, guys. Do get involved in the comments. Have you got any supporters for any of our drivers tonight? Let us know who's going to be your favourite to make it across the timing line for tonight. So we did have car 242 go out first. Just quickly jump to him. Who is car 242? 242 is Naisbitt, the guy leading the championship in his tier. Oh, it's just jumped again. Apologies for that, folks. Oh, it's not going to like it. Stand by. Oh, there he is. So we have Naisbitt warming up his tyres to start his opening lap for Bathurst round 4. Interesting cameras. Is it going to give me the wide camera? There we go. Right, down into turn 1 now. Is he going to spot his breaking point? Yes, he does. Getting that very nice white sky livery McLaren round turn 1, keeping it very pinned. He's got a car right on his gearbox, and that is a Ferrari of Mr. Revel. So he might get a cheeky slipstream down the straight here, but so qualifying rules do apply. You have to leave a gap. So very nice in the uphill section there from Naisbitt, keeping it very pinned to all the limits there. So whether drivers are going to struggle in the dark, but I think Naisbitt, from my recollection, does quite like Bathurst. Whether that's going to be a good luck charm for him or a curse of misery and despair, whether he might lose it in the upcoming corners, but keeps it very pinned through these corners now, very nicely there. Now is he going to keep it round for this part? Yes, he is. Keeping away from Gedman's inspections on all the walls. Spotting his breaking point very nicely now. Ooh, bit slidey there, just fighting that steering wheel, as you can see on board there. So now into the downhill hairpin, spotting his brakes, getting that car around very nicely, not going to lose the rear, keeping it very nice and secure for the night. He might be a security guard because that was very nice. Now back straight, what can he do? Is he going to be a man for speed? As speed is key round Bathurst. Does keep it very nice. Right, now the kink for now the very important part. Get the brake in for this corner, not to overshoot it. Spots his cornering. His brake very nice there from Naisbitt, very respectable. Now final corner, what can he do to kick this session off? Very nice from Naisbitt there, nice and very nice from Naisbitt. What can he do? A 203 there from Naisbitt. Oh, Mr. Revel behind him did a 202 to kick that bit off from Mr. Revel. Oh, Molnix has gone now faster, 202.3. Bonham, nearly identical time to Mr. Revel there in the Pro Tier. Molnix leading the sprint, the super sprint category at the moment in silver tier. Bigging up the silver tier there, currently leading the silver tier and also overall. Guys, there is an overall championship as well, so when we do get into the race, there is no tiered system to let any drivers pass. There is ultimate bragging rights on and off track. You don't have to let a faster tier by. You can fight tooth and nail as long as it's fair, as long as it's clean. The stewards will be happy. No Michael Massey, no FIA involved. Oh, as we did just see Bonham test out the barrier there. Who have we now got coming towards the line? We've got car 37, and that is Mr. Sharp. Is he just going to set a time? Not quite, he's just starting a lap. That's car 6, 7, 8, I think, just letting a few cars pass now. So I think the car closest to the line once again is Mr. Naisbitt. So maybe he might have found some time to improve on that opener lap. Say 14 minutes and 13 seconds left of this qualifying session. Mr. Revel still hot on the heels of the McLaren, but obviously qualifying rules do apply. Oh, big bit of curb there from Naisbitt. So maybe that might help or hinder his time there in the dark. You can't use no excuse. You've got bright enough headlights on the front. You saw the curb coming. It didn't just jump out at you. As we've just had Halloween, you can't make no sneaky excuses. He does improve there slightly on his time, excuse me. Hiccups are a curse of me as always. We've got car 104 coming to the line, 104. No, it did not set a lap. 215. Serpentine. Not set a lap. Oh no, we did P9 from Serpentine there in the AM tier. Car 79. What can you do? Reveal yourself in the standings. Car number 9. Townsend, P12. Car 74. Cole Pitts just going to cross the line. Big jump there, P15 to P10. Great improvement. 884. Eden, great improvement into P9. Car 32 just coming around the final corner. Filomeno. I think that was a little bit of improvement from Filomeno there. Car 37 now coming back round. Mr. Sharp. Is he sharp enough to make a lap? Good enough to get into the top 10? Yes, he can. Top 3 for Mr. Sharp. Great lap from him. Car 43 now. Prentice P2. Great lap. Car 678. Big improvement from Eden there. Nice to see. P11. So guys, if you are watching, do get involved in the comments. Let us know. Are you supporting anyone, or are you watching secretly for any juicy info from some of the other drivers that aren't watching, that don't have the luxury of having a commentator in the ear of your host Retro Ghost, as we do have Lord Waffle in the comments. So gutted you're not here, buddy. So I'll try and not butcher this week without your amazing skills as a duo. And say Bathurst is not my favourite track, yet alone commentating it. So fingers crossed, which should be okay. Very good, very nice. Car 717 Haymans did cross the line up into P7. Got car 79 Mr. Gedman once again in that brighter coloured Bentley. P9 for Gedman there. Very nice lap from Mr. Gedman. Maybe must have done a deal with the walls. Did just see car number 9 Townsend P15 there. Car 71 Van der Waal up into P10. Maybe some marshals might have some words with him. Well, I've got to keep myself entertained somehow if you're not here. Unfortunately, my immaturity and geniusness may be a blessing or a curse, but you know, we move on. Just trying to get the live up on my phone because some of the comments aren't loading on the screen, so bear with me folks. Technical difficulties. I'll just blame Greg. He's just not here. It's all just gone wrong. Got El Prentice now coming around the final corner, as we did just see a comment from Missile Dogshaft. Missile Dogshaft. Oh, this phone just doesn't want to work today. It's just not good enough, lads. No, thank you, buddy. Say, Prentice boys will be strong. Money on Bonham. Well, who knows, mate? He's not got Moller this week. Not that I've seen Moller in the leaderboard just yet. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Is he going to be a late arrival, or is he signed out this week? That will give Bonham a good chance to stretch his legs on that lead for the championship, as they are both tied on points. Well, you know, unfortunately, it seems like a you problem if you're not here to defend yourself. Ooh, as we've got El Prentice going strong in the comments, but not on track. Testing out the gravel now. Dirtying them tyres. Speaking of gravel and marshals, Van der Waal does jump back up to P10. Car 19, Jabino, does jump up to P17. Car 37. Prentice can't be in two places at once. Well, you never know. There is two of them. There's one in the Ferrari, and there's also the Hubba Bubba Audi Prentice as well, as he does cross the line all over the curb in there. No sign of improvement from the Hubba Bubba. Maybe spat out that improvement there over the curb. Just cars just letting past on the back straight there. Nice to see that qualifying rules are being adhered to. Car 34. Bonham improved once again, but still half a second off Molnix. So maybe there's a bit of a statement here, just like Max did at Brazil. Maybe Molnix in the silver tier wants to take it to the pro drivers, as Bonham is still just half a second behind him. You've got a couple of cars just starting their laps. Big train up in the skyline. I see Gedman up there, not on a lap at the minute, the car blue dot. Well, it's been a long enough day. I mean, it could have gone on for an eternity. I mean, you're stuck with me for 2 hours, so I mean, you've got to do something productive. So car 19, Giovinazzi. Speaking of Lamborghinis and Lamborghini friends, as we will absolutely watch him go around the last corner. Very skittish Lamborghini there in a very bright pink style there. I'm sure Lord Waffle will approve a good Lamborghini design. I mean, I can't help it. I mean, again, more spoilers, but I'm proud of what happened today. Again, no spoilers, copyright. And speaking of copyright, if you do want all the early spoilers for any juicy details, that's not F1, but FRL, sim racing, anything will related, the Patreon is just a little thing that just starts at £3 a month. You can get all the juicy details of back behind the scene, off-season, special events, or even your special race number that might mean something to you. You can reserve that number just from as little as £3 a month, and I can afford a new phone as well, so I can get you some better content to read, and hopefully Lord Waffle can provide me with a backup so I'm not here on my own. Oh, as we just see Giovinazzi, oh, big drift, Fast and Furious style. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. So, who have we now got? Where has he said this? Oh no. He must have been too important with checking the walls for safety and didn't read my message. So no, maybe it's just a thing. But Molnix is still winning, sorry, leading the qualifying provisionally. Car 37, Sharp, is he going to improve? Not quite. Car number 9, Townsend. Nope, nothing. Car 41, Molnix. He's got a screenshot to prove it. Molnix still not quite improving, but still in the 201s. Hot on the heels of a 2-minute 0 time there. Got car 717. Car 717 Haymans up into P7. Car 32 Filomeno, without getting copyrighted. Every time we say your name, Lord Waffle will back me up. We just want to break into song and dance. Filomeno in P12. If you look correctly, buddy, he is there. Car 242 Naisbit now once again coming around the final corner. Is he going to improve? P6 at the minute? No, not quite. So we do have a couple of guys just on their out laps and their warm laps. Just 3 minutes left of this qualifying session to get the grid set and ready for race 1, guys. So it's a 20-minute sprint. No pit rules apply, obviously, unless you do what I do normally on a formation lap, and Mr. Revel and Lord Waffle will back me up on this. I did, again, spoilers, what a certain driver did today at Brazil, normally on a formation lap, so yeah, 20-minute race for the first one, couple of minute break interval, so get your snacks, get your drinks, tell someone you love, tell someone you hate, spread the word. FRL is the place to be. Anything sim racing related, we are the place to be. And say race 2 is a 40-minute sprint. Once again, no qualifying rules apply. But Molnick's coming round the final corner, the car just in front. I didn't quite see the number there. So Molnick's still no improvement. 1 minute 55 left of this session. Oh, excuse me. Ate my dinner a little bit too quick and it gives me hiccups. Just poor commentating skills. You see, this is what happens when I don't have an adult. You just let me loose. And carnage just happens. Filomeno now coming around the final corner. What can he do? Stays the same. P15 there for Filomeno. Now, car 34, Bonham down to P3. Oh, shush you. I'm a responsible person. Car 678, the Hubba Bubba. What can he do? Stays the same in P10. Car 134, I believe that is Mr. Brown. In a very nice design Bentley there. I mean, if I've ever seen one, I would say that is a very nice Bentley barge. Speaking of barges, we did just see someone barge through. I think that was Cole Pitts there in the BMW, up into P13 there. So 30 seconds left of the qualifying session, folks. So I think the guys that are on a lap now is going to be make or break for this final time. So the closest driver to the timing line is El Prentice in that Ferrari, not the Hubba Bubba Audi. As I say, he's P5. At the minute, he's got a good gap there that he's got to improve on if he wants to take any sort of time out to jump Mr. Revel in P4. So what can Prentice do now? He's going to try and get this done very nicely, this penultimate lap. Looks a little bit skittish there. P2 from Prentice there, very nice there, where it really mattered. So maybe just that little bit of snap maybe could have got him a provisional pole. But say very nicely done from Prentice there to take P2. Bonham finished P4. So he didn't quite get the qualifying he would have wanted, maybe. Not a fan of the land down under. So speaking of down under, we do have Grafe in the Nissan GTR, the absolute speed machine that has caused carnage for all the good and fantastic commentator reasons, giving the GTR a run for its money. Not that anyone picks the GTR, but say Grafe does. Oh, as we have a good bit of drift in there. Was that valid? I mean, I did kind of see it. No, he's aborted, unfortunately. But car 74, I did just see a minute ago. Cole Pitts, P13, can he get a big improvement? Cole Pitts, yes he can. P9 for Cole Pitts in the BMW. So there we have it, folks. Your grid has been assembled for race 1 and race 2. Molnick's does take pole position with a 2:01.0. Prentice P2, Sharp P3, Bonham P4, Mr. Revel P5, Naisbitt P6, Haymans P7, Harvey P9, Sorry, Harvey P8, Colbit's P9, Rodriguez. Oh, didn't see him sneak in there. Rodriguez in the Mustang snuck there, P10. Grave P11 in the GTR. Prentice, the Hubba Bubba, R8, P12. Serpentine, P13. Eden, P14. Townsend, P15. Vanderwall, P16. Philomeno, P17. Richings, P18. G Brown, P19. Gedman, P20. Jabino, P21. Kalugan, P22. Korkmalakis, P23. Sharp, P24. Sierra, P25. Thacker didn't set a lap. Jackal didn't set a lap. Fitterer didn't set a lap. And Trotman didn't set a lap. So maybe not setting a lap or serving some qualifying bans. I wasn't aware of any, but say maybe they've just been informed. So say race 1 and race 2, guys. That is the grid for race 1 and race 2. So if any driver has not the start they want in race 1, they have another shot at starting in the position they've just qualified in for race 2. So be interesting to see what the score's going to be. So the times for the race do slightly vary. So maybe we're going to get a good bit of daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime. So guys, I can see you flowing in, you're watching. Let us know, please, who are you supporting, who are you rooting for, who's going to spin it, who's going to win it, and who's going to have the style points of improving Gedman's barrier inspection with some nice livery or fresh paint scrapes in the skyline, twists and turns in the uphill and downhill there. So just whilst we wait the drivers to lock in their setups for race 1, we are only running a short formation lap. So the drivers are going to have to get pretty warmed up pretty quickly as we're only running a short formation lap. So you can just about see some of the drivers bopping up and down like a little bunny rabbit or a pogo stick just to lock in their setups to say that they're ready to edit their setups and they are ready to rock and roll. I say a minute 30 just before we start race 1. So guys, 20-minute race 1 followed by a couple of minute interval straight into race 2. So guys, when race 1 has finished, don't go anywhere. Race 2 is going to shortly follow with some more action-packed Sprint Sunday racing. Just to make sure the commentator stays hydrated, because I have to waffle a considerable amount as my main waffle is not here. So 40 seconds to go for race 1. Interesting to see Mornix does have a nice gap there from his competitor Naisbit, who is currently winning his tier. Let's say Naisbit might have snuck a cheeky sandbag in there. Let's say a couple of pro drivers in the mix. Silvers, good silvers there. A couple of AM drivers. Rodriguez currently winning the AMs. And P10, Serpentine down in P13 there. Closest rival, shortly followed by Townsend. So hopefully we're going to get some good camera angles and get the helicopter fired up in just a second. So we are only running a short formation lap, folks. So the guys have literally got just this corner, the well-known Murray's corner, to get their cars fired up for the start. Just a couple of last drivers now. Green, green, green. We are away. Prentice does get a great drive, but he's now on the outside. Optimum line, I think, round the outside. They're all a bit of banging there towards the back, but I think Prentice has got the move done. Very respectable there from turn 1. No one has made it to the pits. Camera angles come on. So nice to see all the drivers are managing to drive in a straight line now. The uphill section very tight, side by side, with about 29 drivers navigating this uphill section. Now coming round the cutting edge of not cutting in front of someone else. So now the timing board has updated, and Prentice did overtake Mornix in that, so I was correct. So he's now got a little bit of a breathing room, just under a second. Bonham is hot on the hills, P3, so he's jumped up a place already from the start. So now, tricky part, this downhill section now. Navigating it not only by yourself, but with people side by side. Oh, there seems to be a bit of carnage. We've got 884, Eden. Not quite sure what the camera's doing. Oh, he's in the gravel there. Oh, car 78's returned to the pits. See if I can change this camera. No, it's not going to do me any favours. Oh, no. Oh, it's all gone wrong. I blame Greg. I just blame Greg. Prentice is still in front, but he's got Mornix hot on the hills. So we do have car 78 in the pits, causing a yellow flag, but the drivers won't be affected by this. We've got a little side by side from Haymans and Harvey there. Oh, they touch. Oh, sorry, it's Grafe there. Haymans does seem to still be going. I think Grafe did drop down a few places there from that little contact. So he's getting swamped now. He's very vulnerable. He's bleeding positions now. We've got car 246 right off the back. Trotman, not quite sure what happened to him early on. We've got Prentice taking the opening lap, fastest lap, as you would expect. Trying to flick through some of the drivers, but say there's big train at the minute. There is moves and dives going on absolutely everywhere, so we'll try and capture them on the camera. So hopefully I can get the camera angle sorted for race 2. It doesn't seem to play ball at the minute. So nice big train there. All the drivers keeping it respectable through his first couple of opening laps whilst the tyres warm up and the drivers find their feet. So Bonham has got music ringing to his ears that Moller has not turned up this evening, so he's got a good chance to extend his championship lead. Currently tied with Moller for the Pro Tier. Is there going to be any moves further on? All we've got Haymans and Rodriguez now side by side down the back straight. I think the Ferrari just edges it a little bit more. We've got Rodriguez on his camera. He's not doing it. Oh, who was that? Oh no, Serpentine. Big smash into the back of Rodriguez there. So the camera angle might not have been great, but we did catch that on the stream. So it's a very nice bright orange Bentley barge from Brown just in the mix there. So guys, there is no reason to pit on this race unless your damage is substantial. I say no reason to pit. 20-minute sprint. So Mornix is just edging out slightly Prentice, a 1.5 second gap there. So a silver driver is winning the multi-grid at the minute, so he's going to do a great good for his points in the overall championship, yet alone his own personal championship. I just see Grave getting really close to the back of Townsend in the uphill section. Some of these drivers are not giving anyone an inch of room. But Trabino, as the last time in line, might just slightly update there. Molnix has increased that gap a little bit more to 1.7. Bonham is still just half a second behind Prentice. So all the drivers still quite tight knit for this first opening bit. 5 minutes into it, nearly 6. We've got a Bentley going rather slow. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was Gedman. Oh wait, it is. So we got the very bright pink McLaren there trying to make a move on Brown, just in the back of the camera. Jabino just in the mix there. Oh, this camera's awful. You just see Bonham still trying to chase down Prentice. He's catching down the straight. It's like he's got DRS. He is catching very nicely to Prentice there. Maybe got a great drive out of the first corner. So chasing down the straight. So yeah, Bonham, big improvement in time there. So just 3.5 tenths nearly. 10th gap between Brown and Gedman. Battle of the Bentley barges on Bathurst. Not quite the track you'd want. Two great big Bentleys going at it. Otherwise, as Gandalf will say, "You shall not pass," as the Bentley barges are fighting tooth and nail in the uphill section. So now just cruising across in the Bentley barges in their boats along the skyline. So Bonham is still chasing down Prentice. The YouTubers decided to refresh all the comments, so just reading some of the old comments that you've already read. So good end on YouTube. So I just blame Greg really. So Bonham is still chasing down Prentice. Once again looking for that nice, great drive out of turn 1. Prentice does seem to dip a little bit wide there, but I think that might invite Bonham for a move. I think we just have to stick to chase cam, folks, because that camera before wasn't great. So I can actually get you some of the action a bit better than what it was. So we'll try and get the well-known and famous helicopter cam for race 2. So this isn't normally my job. Unfortunately, Greg normally has the main controls. I just chip in every now and again. But so we do have Heyman's hot on the back of the Hubba Bubba R8. Yeah, not sure what's going on with YouTube. It seems to be posting every other comment that's already been read and mentioned 3 times in the stream. Bonham just slightly falling off Prentice. But speaking of Prentice, Molnix has clocked out now nearly 2.5 seconds from the leader to P2. You've got Heyman's looking for a move down the back straight. Is he gonna always gonna feint on the grass? Oh, that's very brave there. Nearly took out the Hubba Bubba R8. Oh, not sure if that's a connection. Oh, that's a bit of driver. Big on the brakes there. Heyman's does back out. Prentice does slot himself back in front once again. Now round to the outside. Look for a switch back there, but well fended off by Prentice. Yeah, I'll have to try and sort it out in the interval, because it just wasn't really working when I tried doing it a second ago. So now just trying to see if anyone is in a battle. Bonham is... Ooh, big tap on the wall there. Maybe he heard me. Put him off. Oh, I think there must have been a mistake from Prentice there, as Haymans has got past the Hubba Bubba R8. He has been released from Prentice. He's now got to chase down Colpitts in front. Filomeno catching Gedman. Serpentine close to Thacker. Oh. So Bonham does seem to be just dropping off Prentice a little bit. So Serpentine is right on the rear bumper of the Porsche. So just trying to flick through some of the pack, and everyone seems... Oh, we got Thacker with a big mistake there. Side by side into the skyline as Serpentine slots himself through there. So Prentice has now cut that gap to just 1.9 seconds from Molnix. So Molnix does still have fastest lap of the race at the moment. So I would tell you what that is, but obviously if I do that, I won't be able to give you all the racing, so we might miss it. We've got a big move from Grave, big on the brakes. No, not quite. Is he going to get the drive out the corner? Richings does get a little bit of a snap there, but it's now going to give him the slipstream down the straight. Let's see what that GTR can do down the straight. Going to go round the outside. Oof. Touch and go there from the GTR, but just about keeps it out the wall. He's now going to look to recompose himself for the cutting. So back up to 2.5, the gap from Prentice. Bonham's dropped off slightly. Revel's still just about hanging in there. Gedman's still hanging on to the back of G Brown as the admins are flying round in the Bentleys. as I say that, he's just testing all of the track out, not just the walls, some of the curbing, as the Bentley got a little bit airborne there. Oh! Bonham has looped it. Absolute scenes. Not what he would have wanted for Moller to not be here. He's looped it. I mean, again, copyright reasons, I would sing the song that everyone knows and loves about spinning a car, but I don't want to get cancelled for the one race that I do have a solo flag. So Bonham has now dropped all the way down the order. Where is he going to be? From P3 to P16 for Bonham there. We do have car 884 in the pits. That is Eden and Sharp are both in the pits with 5 minutes left of the race. Maybe we might see something from the stewards or in the stewarding room after this. So I think it's safe to say Molnix is clocking out of this race. So 2.5 seconds and a little bit more. The gap to the closest car behind him. And the same gap to P3 now, so it's all getting a little bit spread out. Even in this 20-minute sprint. So it'll be interesting to see what race 2 has for us in store. The 40-minute race, so a double duration of what we've just witnessed and are witnessing for race 1. Let's say night time. Maybe some people might forget their headlights. You know, that wouldn't be a bright idea. Wee boom. Speaking of bright lights, you got a very bright brake light from that BMW. I mean, I'm not complaining if that was the guy in front of me, but that looked very bright on the stream there. Speaking of very bright, we've got Richings chasing down the Hubba Bubba R8 with the GTR behind him. So a nice little freeway battle. So big snap from the Ferrari in front, does very well. Filomeno is still keeping tabs on Gedman. So the gap from Prentice to Mornix has come back down to 1.8, so maybe there's something that Prentice is doing compared to Mornix as the gap increases in Sector 1. Sector 2, who knows, but by the time Sector 3 happens, it comes back down to under a second once again. So Grave looks like he's got a great drive down straight. All this slipstream, is he going to get Richings for P10? Oh, I don't think so. He's got the R8 in front, but giving him that slipstream, can he make it round the outside? Oh, once again, oh no, the Ferrari touches the curb. That sends the GTR wide. Still keeps on to P10, just about. Both drivers doing very well to keep out of the wall there. So it's probably our closest fight on track at the minute, just to give you some action for this race 1. So the guys will be returning to the places they qualified in for race 2, so it doesn't matter about where they finish in race 1, it's all about preparation for race 2 as they return to the qualifying places. So as I said earlier, if they had the start or not the result they wanted from race 1, they have another shot at it in race 2. So the gap Prentice to Mornix is coming down a little bit more once again. It's now down to 1.4. So once again, Grave trying to eye up a move down the straight. They are slowly reeling in Heyman's just in front. So G Harvey just having a drive, a little Sunday drive on his own there. 8 seconds to the gap to the car in front.
On the final lap. Give it all you can.
But there we have it from Race Directory. Leader is on final lap, folks. So one more lap for the leader. So Prentice has got to make 1.6 seconds in a lap, which would be absolutely phenomenal if he did. I mean, hats off to him if he could. But I mean, Mornix pretty much checked out early on in the race. So great drive from Mornix there. Oh, he did see a little bit of a snap from there, but so just return to this fight for P9. So can Grave reel in this Ferrari before the turning point, as it did cost him P10 last time. But can Richings fend him off? Great speed from the GTR down straight. Oh, once again the Ferrari does fend him off. The GTR being pushed wide once again. Did just see a couple of cars quite close there towards the timeline. Oh no, maybe not. And so guys, this is our closest at the minute. So Prentice still 2 seconds off Mornix. Oh, Sharp looking very battered there. Trying to make it to the line, I think, on this final lap. I think Naisbitt is in front, yep. So he just hasn't quite updated on the timing screen, but Sharp limping that Ferrari home. I think he's going to lose out to Harvey here. down the straight. This is going to hurt him massively. Sharp predicted himself that he wasn't going to do very well. Maybe that was a curse. But we forgot about Molnix, who did take the checkered flag in race 1. Clocked out early, punched the timing line very nicely there. Prentice P2, Mr. Revel P3, Naisbit P4. So Molnix wins overall, and obviously in the silver class. Prentice takes P2 but wins in the pro class. So Naisbit P4, Harvey P5, Sharp does limp home in P6, Colpitts P7, Haymans P8, Prentice P9, Richings P10, Grave P11, Van der Wall P12, G Brown nearly smashed into the back of Van der Wall for P13, Gedman P14, Filomeno P15, Bonham, unfortunately after that race 1 loop-de-loop, does take home P16, Shabido P17, Kalugin P18, Sierra P19, Serpentine P20, Thacker there, unfortunately not quite sure what happened but didn't take checker flag. Trotman, I think it's just about going to make it there. Eden does take the checker flag. Townsend, P25. Sharp. Oh, there's 2 Sharps. Hello. I missed that. I'm not sharp enough. So you've got Sharp with an E and Sharp. Nice. Fitter up, P27. Rodriguez, P28. So I think we did miss or lose a driver in that. I think I did say there was 29 drivers in there. So just whilst the guys are finishing their laps, I'll see if I can get this camera to work. Just whilst we wait for the session to finish again, guys, I do apologise. Camera is normally not my forte. Alright, camera has been set, which I'll probably, I think, have to do again when it starts. So I mean, any comments or complaints that you want to make about me tonight, just aim them all at the Wolfafa. It's his fault. But say, guys, don't go anywhere. Race 1 has finished. We are now going to follow up with race 2, a 40-minute sprint for race 2. So the guys return back to their qualifying positions that obviously they qualified in to get another shot at where they started from for race 1 again in race 2. So if they had a little bit of argy-bargy, forced out a position, or not the start they would have wanted, they do have another shot at it. So whilst we are waiting for that to happen, I'm just gonna have a quick drink, as there is a good time to do so. As you know, commentators have to stay hydrated. Yeah, it's rigged. I mean, I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but no, it's not rigged. In fact, Mr. Revel got a podium in a car that he tells everyone he hates every week, but still gets a podium in it. Yeah, there's just something not right about that. It's the second worst car. The fact you class the Ferrari as second worst, I'd probably take that as a compliment. But go on then, what's the worst car? Enlighten me. Well, I mean, I would say the Ferrari's OP, but I think I must have the wrong one because my one doesn't do OP things, it just crashes into walls that Gedman inspects every week for Taco Tuesday. I don't think I've driven the Jag yet. So hopefully the camera is going to do a lot better this race than it was the first race. Again guys, I do apologise. Any comments or complaints about the poor cameraman skills tonight, just aim them at the Wufafa. Yeah, there is a Jag buddy, but it's so hated that no one ever dares to mention that there is one that exists. So just over a minute left, as you can see. Some of the cars bopping up and down like we had in the first one, just to tweak their setups, just to change some little bits. Unfortunately, they can't put bubble wrap or extra padding in their car, so not only to add weight to the car, but to protect them when they do crash into a wall. That has been safety certified by yours truly. So 30 seconds from race control there.
20 seconds.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I did throw the sandbag word in, but you know, I didn't want to get told off again. Or so Mornick does take the pole position once again. And so hopefully get these drivers raring to go once again. And say, guys, if you do get a chance or want to get involved in the Discord, do drop a comment below and one of the admins will drop you a message for a link to the server. So we've got Prentice taking pole position before it's even started. Right, Michael Massey style. And so just letting the final cars come around the corner, and I think we're about to go green, green, green once again. So Prentice getting a great drive on the outside there. Pretty much past Molnix already once again. Oh, big carnage towards the back there. All cars on the grass all over the place. Bonham is back up to P2. So he's not going to try and repeat what he did the first race, but that was a big carnage into turn one. I think the stewards are going to be busy after that. I didn't quite see all the involved, but I saw some of the involved, but it was quite spicy. So the timing board has now updated. Bonham jumps to P2. Mornix is down to P3. So a big bit of shuffling round now. As some of the timing lines and boards. We've got car 99 Sierra in a wall with, I think that is Thacker there. Yes it is. So maybe these two drivers have come together. Unfortunate to see they got 40 minutes to try and recompose themselves. Car 99, also 999. Probably might need 999 after an accident, and he's crashed into a wall once again. So Bonham is hot on the heels of Prentice. So this opening lap, all the drivers are spaced together. Tyres aren't quite as warm as what the guys are probably used to, as we are running the shorter formation lap this week. Obviously Bathurst, short formation lap. You might as well stick the kettle on and have a cup of tea, as it does take forever. Oh, we did see a couple of Ferraris there. going at it. So Ferrari and the McLaren, it's Naisbitt and Mr. Revel on the opening lap. Revel electing to round the outside into Murray's corner. Naisbitt does see him coming. Can Mr. Revel get a switch back on? Not quite. Bonham takes purple first lap there. Now Mr. Revel's got the inside. Big on the brakes there. So you could probably separate the front runners by a piece of paper. It is that tight. Bonham is a 10th behind the Ferraris, practically pushing him along. So Bonham is still there. Sharp looked like he wanted to put his nose in there. Naisbitt and Revel still going at it. Leave my stickers out of this. There's nothing wrong with a bit of stickers. Just because no one else can see it, my wheel looks good when I crash because it's got so many stickers on it. It's like band-aids every time I crash I put another sticker on it. I think some of the back end of the grid is slightly spaced out. Gedman is catching Kalugin, or sorry, he's overtaken Kalugin now, but the time of board's not updated. Got Van der Waal and G Brown there. Van der Waal is in front of G Brown. Once again, it's not updated. Bonham still trying to chase down Prentice. Got Revel and Naisbitt. Ooh, Naisbitt going big deep there. Across the grass. He's now going to bleed time and positions now. Needs to get back up to racing speeds. He's got Colpitts and Grafe and Rodriguez in a little three-way train there. Just about gets himself recomposed, but that could have been dangerous. Car 717 speeding into the pit lane. .717. Haymans. That's unfortunate. I mean, yeah, that's good advertising for the WRC series. I mean, guys, we don't only just cover ACC, we do GT7, iRacing, obviously for the PC guys, WRC, as we've just seen Naisbitt take a GT3 across the grass. Speaking of people, Mr. Revel has taken purple fastest lap. The man, I've just seen him hit the wall in the uphill section. Claim that the Ferrari is the second worst car, but he's just taken fastest lap. Or as I just see another car in the distance, in the background there, it also hit the wall. Testing Gedman's safety standards out. So Richings and Filomeno. Nice and tight there through all the corners. Mornix has now lost out to Sharp. Down to P4 now. So Mornix needs to get himself going. He did check out of race 1. He needs to refine that same sort of vibes that he had from race 1 to redo what he did last race. Oh, I do see a car in the background going to the pits. Who is that? Not quite sure. Norman says he looked like he's in a mount a move. He's a little bit too far away. it's Heyman serving his drive-through. My apologies, folks. I thought it was a different car. There's so many Ferraris, you know, because they're the worst car. Mr. Rebel. So Bonham is now just under a second away from Prentice. Not quite sure if he's catching or falling, but Bonham has now taken fastest lap. He is on a mission. I think Prentice may have had a moment because he's bleeding a bit of time there. And once again, three-way fight. Grafe, Rodriguez, and Colpitts has formed in the Skyline section of the circuit. Now round Forest Elbow. Interesting name for a corner, but it's called Forest Elbow. Now coming down the straight, can the BMW use all of its well-known in what way? I mean, I don't condone it. It's only illegal when they catch you, right? So Molnix is still behind Sharp, but he's getting very close to Sharp. No, just 3/10 behind him. Oh. Yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 out of 28 drivers. Grafe is still trying to chase down Colpitts, where he looked like he's giving him a good old push around the circuit. Bonham still hanging on to a second behind Prentice. As the Hubba Bubba doing is 6/10 behind Serpentine, with Eden apparently 1.1 behind him, which I didn't do very well at school, but that does not look like 1.1 seconds. That looks very close. As we have the very nice Serpentine Ferrari just in front. G Brown trying to stretch its Bentley legs from Van der Waal behind him, but Van der Waal's coming like a rocket. So Van der Waal known for the McLaren brakes. Don't like who's going to send one there. Maybe thought better of it as it is G Brown. Malacas chasing down, looks like a very battered and bruised Ferrari of J Sharp there. And J Sharp is now going to elect to go into the pits. So 29 minutes left of this race, so it's not over and out just yet. We've got a bit of side by side there that we didn't quite see on the camera. Grafe going to get a move done into cutting, not quite there. So Bonham is still just about hanging on, but this fight from Molnix and Sharp has now invited Rebel into the mix. He has caught up this battle for P3, the final podium place, but say Molnix is not only leading his championship, where he currently is. His closest competitor is probably just about 6 seconds behind. So he's got that to contend with. He doesn't want to be behind Sharp for too long. Is he going to mount a move into the big braking zone of this corner coming up? The camera's going to do it. Yes, just about. Mornix does get in front. Sharp having a big snap there. I say now Revel is there as well. Sharp may have had a moment. He's bleeding positions here. He's going to lose 2 out into Murray's corner. Essentially 2 wide, not quite. Revel getting a great drive out the final corner. Is he now going to send one into turn 1? He's got the inside line, not quite. Backs out, slips in behind. So a couple of guys waiting on the pit exit there. Thank you very much, guys. Very respectable. As says guys flying round turn 1 at the minute. They got Prentice just in the back there. Eden as well. Prentice in that hubba bubba R8, trying to chase down Serpentine. Has the R8 got speed, or is it too much blowing bubbles out of chewing gum? Can he make it or break it? Not quite. Trying to flick through some of the pack. We've got some good times here, nice and tight on the timing line. Oh, it was a big smash into the wall. Who was that? Oh, that was Filomeno in the BMW. Needs to recompose himself here fast. You've got Gedman coming up behind. That BMW does look very battered. Machine. I mean, I was going to try to think of something, but I can't due to streaming purposes. But, you know, you get the point. That is a very battered BMW. So, Mornix has slotted himself and pulled a gap from Sharp already. Revel is now trying to get past Sharp. In a car that apparently he hates so much. We've got car 32. Yeah, they just jumped to the pits. Who was that? Filomeno, as expected. Car 78 is in the pits. Fitterer. So this fighting from Revel and Sharp. Maysbit is slowly catching up. It was 5 seconds, it's now 4.8. So there is time that he is gaining over these two fighting. So Gray. Oh, bit of side by side from the Bentley there. G Brown just about going to catch it inside. It's Eden and G Brown there. There is a blue flag somewhere. Someone's in the mix. So hopefully they read the race briefing for blue flags. So we had Van der Wall there getting very close to the wall. Maybe that's either a blessing or a curse, being partly named after it. So Richings trying to get all over the back of this McLaren. Oh, I think Eden's had a moment there. So he's all quite badly there, tapping all the walls as he comes down like a little pinball in that yellow McLaren. Dropping all the way down the order there is Eden. It's not what he would have wanted for a race 2. So Bonham is still trying to hold on to Prentice. But Prentice is just about keeping him at arm's length with 1.1 seconds now. So some of the pack is getting spread out. So 23 minutes left of race 2, just about to approach the 50% mark of this race. Just whilst the drivers are getting settled into their rhythm of Bathurst, it can quite easily be disrupted and upset very quickly around this track. There you got Prentice and Serpentine going at it up in the uphill, now into cutting. What can the R8 do? Fighting that R8 massively there. Maybe he can't get the rubber to stick. Maybe he's got to choose some more gum, make some more rubber. So, ooh, a big snap there, well held from the R8 there. So we now got Bonham 0.7. He is massively catching Prentice. Has Prentice made a mistake, or has Bonham finally found the pace that he has been lacking so far this Super Sprint Sunday? He is now rapidly catching Prentice. So he's going to let's go round the outside of Murray's corner. Not quite. Can he get the drive out the corner for turn 1? Mornix has now just dropped off a little bit, but say he's got Sharp 1.8 behind, or 1.3 now behind. Revel now 0.8. Naisbit, where was he? Oh, he's dropped off a little bit more, 6.2. He's gone up a little bit there. Serpentine and the R8 there. It's a great drive out the final corner of the R8, not quite enough to mount a move. Oh, I think a bit of dirt tactics there on the final corner. Got Townsend and Van der Waal switching places. Maybe that was just giving the place back, maybe he'd made it unintentionally due to collision. Bonham is still pushing Prentice round, giving him that all famous Bonham pressure that we all know. But Moller unfortunately sometimes gets the better of him and does slip up. Is he going to do his Bonham powers on Prentice to squeeze a win? He needs this win to increase his championship chances to overtake Moller, as he's not here this week. Mr. Revel is catching Sharp 0.5. We've got Molnix in front, flashing a car. I think that's a blue flag for a back marker. Yeah, it's for Filomeno in the BMW that we saw just a few laps ago test the safety standards of the wall. Oh, we've got Sharp trying to navigate the fast right-hander with a back marker. Oh, we got Revel going across the grass. Tut tut, Mr. Revel, you naughty minx. Put a pound in the jar, because that's WRC. So Bonham is just dropped off Prentice there, back up to a second. Mr. Revel does drop off significantly of Sharp, as expected, as he's just taken the gravel, grass, mud, curb, anything above the tarmac across the corner. Bonham in a little bit more cleaner air does drop back down to 0.6. He's taken 4/10 out of Prentice in just one sector. Oh, he does smash the wall in the McLaren, but doesn't seem to phase his car too much. He is the mean green racing machine. I mean, to be fair, buddy, you did miss it a few laps ago. We did test the wall and gave it a good old hug. It was nice. It was romantic, but unfortunately, racing, there's no chance or no time for romance because that costs you time. As it's costing time to Bonham, he's now back up to a second gap from Prentice there. I'm too busy looking at Mornix's time. Mornix is 3.7 behind Bonham. This guy's got 17.5 seconds to make up 3.7 seconds to try reclaim a double win. Oh. He got Thanos snapped. Oh dear. G Brown. I do quite like that Bentley, you know. I mean, I'm pretty picky in my cars, but that's a quite nice Bentley. Oh, he's side by side with a Hubba Bubba R8 into turn 1. What's the Bentley barge going to do? Is he going to push him out? No, the R8's going to force him onto the curb. G Brown is not going to be happy about that. He's going to be pushing him down the straight now. He's not quite close enough to be pushing, but he's definitely catching. That Bentley barge grunt. He's now electing to go round the outside. Getting that big car turned in down the straight. Shifting all that weight. Van der Waal coming into the mix now, 1.2 behind. Catching these guys up in front. He's definitely on a mission. Mornix has now just taken fastest lap, 3.2 seconds is now the gap. He's taken 7/10 out of the gap. Oh, it's just gone slightly back up. I believe it'll stay the same, but say 7/10 of what it was before. And he's just taken, say, fastest lap, folks. We can't see what it was. Obviously, I don't want to miss out on all the racing. So Mr. Revel still hanging on to P5. Naisbitt is catching quite a lot, 3.6 seconds. Rodriguez 11 seconds behind Naisbitt, winning his Pro-Ams here. So Grafe in the middle between him and Serpentine, but once again we got G Brown and the Hubba Bubba R8 going at it. Oh, big brakes from G Brown. Oh, he's nearly looped it, G Brown. I thought he was going to give us a showdown for WRC and show us how it's all done in the Bentley barge on the grass. I mean, I did think about it, but I thought, no, I'm not going to say it. Bonham is dropping off slightly, 1.3, but Mornix is now just 2.7. So that's another half a second gap he's taken out of Bonham. As you can see him just in the distance of the corner in front. So 14 minutes left of this session. Can Mornix catch up to Bonham and possibly Prentice? Who knows? Mornix is a very racecraft orientated driver, so he's fantastic on and off track, but say, what can he do? He is currently in the silver tier. Maybe some of the admins might be scratching their heads and going, hang on a minute, if this guy's winning the pro tier, what's he doing in silver? And so he did that race 1. Can he recreate it in race 2? He's now 2.4. What is it going to be on the timing line? So it's 2.4 again, he's matching the time. Bonham is just a second out. You see Jabino just up in front being flashed by an Ferrari. I had a Ginetta that colour style as well. I thought the Ginetta looked quite nice in that colour. It does look very nice in the Ferrari actually. I mean, my Ginetta went on two wheels at every corner because I couldn't really go fast in a corner. As many of you people that know me would tell everyone. I did think that as well. I thought, had to mention it just in case, you know. Oh, big bit of carnage there. Eden, Dazza, Townsend, Gedman and Harvey just racing in a little four-way sandwich. Oh, as we see a Ferrari in the background. Car 33. Jay Sharp. Once again, unfortunately not having the best of races. So don't worry about what's going on in front. I think the fight towards the back of the pack is where it's at. Four drivers going at it. Gedman. I mean, it was your mate Jabino. Oh, Gedman getting sideways. Still gaining time sideways. That's how good. Oh no! Oh no! Commentator's curse. Gedman has been torpedoed by Townsend. Townsend returns back to the pits. Gedman seems to still be going on, but limping. That not as bright Bentley. I mean, he's got some fluorescent yellow on it. I'll give him that. Fair play, but it's not as bright as his tennis ball Porsche days. So Bonham is still behind Prentice. 0.4. 4/10. Mornix is back up to 2.7. He's lost a little bit of time. Sharp is just about hanging on to P4. Doesn't seem to have as of a damaged car this time round in race 2. Mr. Revel still hanging on, but where's Naisbitt in this? Naisbitt is still 5.9 away. Five tenths now, Bonham. So 10 minutes now of this race 2. Townsend still in the pits. And Thacker and Trotman having a little bit of train there. I think there's another car there that maybe should or shouldn't be there. That's car 999. Mornix is now 1.8. 1.8. That's a second. That's insane. Bonham is now 0.7. So Molnix is now 1.7 behind. He must be definitely doing something different, or Bonham is being held by Prentice. So what can Molnix do his last couple of laps if he can keep that pace and momentum up? So it's all well and good doing it in the clean air, but what can you do in the smelly, dirty air that unfortunately does make the car react and handle very differently? We're still hanging on to 1.7. Oh, speaking of G Brown and WRC, I did see that. Cheeky. Not quite sure what happened there, but the Hubba Bubba R8 and G Brown elect to test out WRC purposes on Bathurst. Oh, I can't eat curry. It's too dangerous. If I eat a curry, the government health services will get called. It'll be like the scene out of Monsters Inc. of 2319. Let out death fart of a curry. So Bonham is 0.5. Where is Molnix in this? Molnix is 1.1. He can just about taste that green apple. McLaren just in front. Bonham's dropping back 1.2. Is this going to be the comeback drive for Molnix? Prentice still just about hanging on. Both cars look like they've got a bit of dirt in between their teeth and on their car after the last lap charade. Molnix is now 0.9. Prentice is flashing. I think car number 9. Who is that? That is Mr. Townsend. And Townsend is no stranger to the rulebook. Yeah, 9/10 separating Molnix to Bonham. Bonham 7/10 to Prentice. So he's closer to the car in front than he is to the car behind, so that's always a good sign. Just needs to keep his head down, just try and maximise the points that he can if he can't catch Prentice. Just trying to use some of his Bonham powers to try and put the mind games involved. So this lapped car of Townsend seems to be causing a little bit of mischief, not quite sure, but these guys are really close now. For 5 minutes left of this session, Molnix is now within touching distance. Oh, camera angle, come on Bonham, he's got to move on. Oh no, Bonham's across the grass. 360'd and kept it. Fair play. I mean, he must have took G Brown up on the WRC. We've got Molnix trying to mount a move on the inside, not quite, of Prentice. So you've got 5 minutes left of this session, folks, and Molnix looks like he's going to dive one, not quite, fended off by Prentice, where it looked closer on the camera than what it probably was in game. So where's that put Bonham? That's put Bonham off the podium now. Sharp moves up into P3. Revel hot on the hills. So Molnix is still practically pushing this Ferrari along in this Ferrari top 3. So Prentice has done a stellar job this race. Just needs to keep his head down. Just needs to ride the skyline, as they all call it. Now coming into the Big Dipper. What can the Big Dipper do for these Ferraris that have been running around on these tyres near on 40 minutes? Prentice has pulled a little bit of breathing room of 0.5. Not that it matters, because I think Molnix has now caught that back up pretty much. He gets a great drive out the corner there. I think he's catching him down the straight there. Looks like he is catching. He's quite enough to mount a move though, because this would be something that Molnix would. Closes up very nicely on the brake, and there he's trying to aim himself to get a move done maybe in this last coming lap. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be one more lap or two. We will find out. We do cross the line. I think it's going to be 2 more laps, and Mulnix has got his work cut out for him if he wants to make this move. I think Mr. Revel does get past Bonham up to P4 there. Car number 4 is in the pits. Harvey. It's unfortunate. We've got side by side from Mulnix and Prentice. Mulnix giving absolutely everything to the wall, but I think that cost him. Prentice had the inside, slingshots himself back up in front. I think he's got a little bit breathing room once again. 6/10, that's not a lot. Couldn't look away for 2 seconds, otherwise that would cost him the position. It's literally half a second and a little bit more that he's got to the guy behind him, hot on his heels. He's got fastest lap. He won race 1. What can Mulnix do? So coming through the Big Dipper. So some of these corner names are interesting now. Big Dipper rounding through the Forest Elbow. So Prentice trying to get as much power down as quickly as he can to try and get away from Mulnix, just to not give him a slither of a hope to make a move to take the win. So Prentice has done an absolute stellar job this race 2 for 40 minutes. So both drivers done fantastic there. So I think this is going to be final lap from race control once Prentice does cross the timing line. So I think a big snap there.
Right, man.
Leader on final lap. What can Mulnix do? He's caught him up very nicely. Is he going to send a move down to turn 1? No, he's not. Fended off very nicely from Prentice there. I think we are going to stay on board with this battle, as it is a fight for the lead, tooth and nail. So you just see Sharp and Revel in the background there, whilst the camera does pan back round. But Mulnix isn't as close as what he was last lap to Prentice. So he's got his work cut out for him into the uphill section. Both drivers doing fantastic there. Right, both drivers now intercutting this uphill tight left-hander, shortly followed by a sharp right-hander. Those guys have done really well fighting it out. So one final time over the skyline. Oh, as Prentice gets a big smack in the wall, whether there was a connection spike there. It looked like a smash into the wall. So now the Big Dipper doesn't look like it's going to phase him too much. He's recomposed himself very quickly if it was a wall smash. So now Forest Elbow one final time. So getting that power down as quickly as he can to try stretch those Ferrari legs to take him to the timing line. I don't think Mulnix is going to be close enough to mount a move from all the way back here. Or can he close up under slipstream? Yeah, I think Mulnix is just not quite enough. Yeah, a little bit of connection spike there from Prentice. So Murray's corner. Was he going to send a move? Not quite. Did think of it, but backs out of it. But there we have it, folks. Prentice takes the checkered flag for race 2 there in the pro tier, and obviously overall, Mulnix takes P2, but P1 in class. Sharp P3, Revel P4. Bonham, not quite sure what happened to Bonham, but I think we will probably see what happened in the stewards room, as it looked like it might have been grass or contact related. We're not quite sure what happened there, but I just see the pink McLaren just dive into the wall there. Naisbitt P6, Rodriguez P7, Grafe is going to come across the line to take P8 there. Serpentine behind P9, Van der Waal P10, G Brown, after a few brown pants moments, P11. Prentice in the Hubba Bubba R8, a very, very battered R8, P12. Kalugin just coming around Murray's corner now. Does take P13. Mr. Gedman, unfortunately, after getting torpedoed in the top of the skyline, not by his own doing, unfortunately by another driver, so he does come home for a P14. I think there's a lapped car in front, which is Jay Sharp, but you've got Thacker and car 999, Sierra fighting Thacker. So Thacker does come home to take P14 there. So Richings P16, Trotman P15, Colpitts P17, Sharp P18. Harvey's going to come across the line for P19. Filomeno P20. Sierra, who is just returned to pits, P23, Jabino P24, Eden P25, Cork Malakas P26, Haymans P27, Fitterer P28, Jackal P29. So there we have it, folks. Your race, Super Sprint Sunday, race 1 and 2 completed. Let us know in the comments who you thought should have won it, or your favourite moment. So guys, do get a chance, if you want to get a link to the Discord, do drop a message below and one of the admins will get involved and give you a link to the Discord. And also the link to the Patreon is also on the server as well. It does start from as much as £3 a month. You do get the option to reserve your race number or get all the juicy details behind the scenes, special events that they run over the course of the year. So you get some great options, great accessibility by having that. And so it's a fantastic platform. Anything racing related, iRacing, ACC, GT7, WRC, as you've seen some of the boys take some interesting dirt lines across the track. It's the place to be. You can't go wrong with FRL, buddy. It's just fantastic. So just to have a recap whilst it is on here, we will see where we are next week. So we've done Bathurst this week and we go to Circuit of the Americas next week. So it should be an interesting race next week, and I believe we are going to get joined by some of the admins for a post-race interview. But I mean, if I had to pick a couple of drivers for driver of the day, it's a tough one to pick because I've only got me, myself and I, which I can't pick, and me, myself and I to suggest it against. I mean, Prentice did an absolute stellar performance in race 2. Mornix again, race 2 and race 1.
Green light, go, go, go.
Just to pick some of the categories, I mean, again, we're just full of drivers across the grid. Just really standout guys that just do fantastic performances week in, week out. And you can't, unfortunately, just pick one. You just want to pick them all, but you just can't pick either. Just let me chase up people if they are joining, so bear with me.
Hi Retro.
How's it going, buddy?
Not bad. How was the comms tonight then?
It was very good. I mean, a little bit rocky at the start. I mean, this is normally Greg's job, so any comments or complaints that I receive, or if anyone wants to make any, you can message them directly to Greg, because that's his job. So,
Nah, mate. Listen, you've held the fort tonight, so that's absolutely fantastic. Are you still broadcasting, or are you finished?
no, it's still going. Just I thought there was going to be a few drivers that might have popped in. I wasn't sure whether we was doing anything, but no.
Aye.
So we had a few good views of WRC driving, advertising the league to do ACC, iRacing, and I think there's a few of you boys going across the dirt lines in the final corner or the first corner for WRC. It was great advertising.
There was a good mix in race 1 and in race 2 tonight, so I think there was a little bit of a couple of accidents that kind of worked in some drivers' favour. But I don't think there was any sort of maliciousness tonight. It was all everyone trying their hardest and Bathurst doing Bathurst things, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, as the saying goes, I call Bathurst Bath hurts, because, you know, it hurts when you crash. I mean, fair play to all the guys that work hard making the server, and say certain people testing the barriers out every week for when people like me come crashing into them every week.
That's
But
it,
I
they're just
mean,
making sure they're going to stay intact when you hit them hard.
but I mean, yeah, turn 1, race 2. I'm not quite sure what happened, but I think there was a fair few ducking and diving and smashing of bumpers and bodies.
Do you know, I don't think there was anyone that was hurt bad with that one though, so everyone kept going, which was a good thing. The first race was very clean at the start, very clean indeed.
Yeah.
Race 2, yeah, maybe not so much, but that is what it is. It's Bathurst. I myself forgot to change my tyre pressures, so I ended up driving on tyre pressures that were 6 or 7 too high
Oof.
all round. But I never realised this until about maybe 22 minutes left to go, when my car was quite stable, and then the tyres come down when the temperature dropped, and I managed to get all the way around until about lap 14, and then poor Daz just in front of me lost control, and he was along for the ride.
Yeah, we caught that.
Oh, excellent, good. That's fine.
I mean, when
I
the
can
camera
point Daz in
controls
the
were
direction.
working, I caught it straight on the big screen. Smash.
Oh, yes, good. That's poor Daz will feel great about that.
That's it. We'll make a snippet of it and send it to him. Oi, insurance details.
Aye, that's it. So I think from race 1, I'll give my driver. I know I gave my predictions, but it kind of get a little bit kind of flummoxed. So I don't think Bonham had good races times 2.
Yeah, I
he
mean, I
finished
don't
quite
know
far
if
down.
you saw much of possibly what happened on track.
I was in chat with him, so we got the running commentary.
I'm guessing it wasn't stream appropriate then, but what happened? I mean, the camera panned round and all of a sudden you saw Bonham doing a 360 across the grass, again advertising the WRC series, and he held it. Fair play to him.
I think that's what the new Sunday approach is. Let's promote WRC, and in doing so, let's show them how it's done. And a GT3 car.
Exactly, mate. If you can do it in a GT3 car, you can do it in a WRC car. You've got no excuse then.
That's it. Well, I think for race 1 though, I'm going to give my driver my vote for driver of the day for race 1. For pro, it's definitely going to have to be Malnick's. The fastest lap.
Yeah, I think
he had a
Malnick's
fantastic
definitely
quality session as well.
So just kind of I can't think of the word to describe it. He definitely was someone just out the blue. Like, fair play to him. He's a really quick driver, but again, for someone being in the silver tier in front of the pro drivers, is still bragging rights for the overall championship.
It was a smidgen off a 2 minutes for the quali lap, so he's my driver of the day for pro. Driver of the day for silver, I think I'm going to go for Goggs. Right now, the reason I'm going for Goggs, he pressured me personally all the way through race 1 and managed to catch me, and then just gently pulled away and finished strong with consistency. And then in race 2 he had a great start and I just couldn't catch him, and he was dodging and weaving, and he's managed to finish, I think he finished 5th or 6th, 5th in class.
I thought he was in the pro.
Oh, he's pro, sorry. So
Yeah.
I keep forgetting he's actually up to pro. Apologies. So Gogs is my pro driver of the day, and Molnix is my silver driver of the day. Sorry, I got that mixed around.
I see, you're still just a bit whiplash from having the accident, aren't you? It's alright, I'll let you off.
I'm still suffering. No, my driver of the day is going to Daz. He qualified really well for AM class. He qualified really well.
He got P9,
and he just
didn't he?
I think so. Out of 29 drivers on the grid, so he was actually faster than pros and silvers tonight on his quali. And unfortunately had a wee accident.
It's a make or break. It's no matter what tier you're in, it's just a track that will just chew you up and spit you out.
That's it. It's my favourite track of all time. But I can never ever race on it without mishap. Race 1 there was mishap free, but race 2 no. Does see to that.
But I'm in total agreement for Molnix for silver all day long. I think probably for me, for pro, race 2 has got to be Prentice. Like he got out well in front, say first start. He pretty much jumped Molnix by turn 1 and just kept an absolute stellar performance the whole race. Like Molnix was catching, like fair play to him, like he wasn't slacking, he was giving him a good run for his money towards the end. Molnix was like 3 seconds behind. He took a second out of Bonham on like the last couple of laps, and I think a couple of lapped cars got in front, and he was like 1 second in front. And then Bonham had his moment on the grass, so that then got Molnix behind Prentice.
Right.
So then obviously watching those two, is he going to die, was he not? He was just baiting every little movement just to see if he'd just give him the pressure to slip up. But no, he did really well to just keep that lead in front for a whole 40 minutes.
Fantastic. And then what's your RAM driver of the day?
It's tough for the AMs because sometimes the AMs are never really close together to see who's fighting who, but again it's just without giving it to the same people. It's like watching Serpentine have a bit of a moment, or going great side by side with a couple of people, or say Thacker as well. Like the AM class.
For me, these guys, Serpentine, Thacker and Daz, for me are vastly improved, and they're not going to be AM drivers for long. Next season I'll definitely see them moved up, but I would definitely bank on that, and that's happening. So they're doing really well.
You heard that, viewers.
From the horse's mouth.
That's it. I mean, I was going to say it, but I mean, I didn't want to be rude.
You calling me a horse? Right, listen, I'll leave you to tie off the rest of your stream, but well done tonight for holding the fort.
Yeah, sorry about the camera controls, mate. So I'll put a complaint into Greg for when he comes back next week.
That's fine. I'll point everything in his direction.
Alright, buddy, take it easy.
Thanks, buddy. Speak soon.
So there you have it, guys, from Mr. Gedman himself. Dazza, Thacker and Serpentine will be moving up next season, so there will be no Pro-Am for them. So they've got to put their big silver boots on and put their big boy silver pants on and get on with it. But other than that, folks, apologies for race 1 camera controls. Any comments or complaints that you have about the camera controls, as much as I have about them, you can personally direct message the Wolfafa, Greg, Lord Waffle on Discord and vouch your complaints at him. But other than that, this has been round 4, Super Sprint Sunday. I've been your host, Retro Ghost. Thank you very much, take care and good night.